Hi, my loves. Happy Sunday. Welcome to your weekly tarot forecast for December 5th to the 12th, 2021. This week is a pretty slow week. There's not too much going on in the stars, so we really have a chance to integrate the last few weeks that we've moved through with eclipse season. Eclipse season just ended officially yesterday, so there's still a lot to be processed, a lot to be felt and sat with. And this week coming up really gives us a chance to do that. So the 2 weeks following this week are really active. We have the full moon in Gemini, which is the first non-eclipse lunation in about a month. We have Venus turning retrograde. We have Mars entering Sagittarius and aligning with the South Node, and Mercury moving into Capricorn all in the next 2 weeks. So this week is sort of like the calm before the storm of December's activity. It's a transition kind of week between eclipse season and the real bulk of December's quite intense transits. So this week coming up though, on Tuesday, we have Mercury forming a square to Neptune, and this could make communication a little bit challenging. We might just have a hard time staying grounded. It might be easy to just kind of like veer into idealistic thinking, or people around us might be veering into idealistic thinking. So be mindful of what you're saying and communicate with intention around that day. On Tuesday the 8th, Mars is forming a square to Jupiter exactly on this date, even though we've been feeling this for a little bit of time. And this can kind of lead us to feel overly confident or overly zealous or bite off more than we can chew really around the 8th. So be mindful, especially with Mercury forming square to Neptune, not really seeing things entirely clearly and, feeling like we need to prove something or want to prove something or like do the most or give the most. Not the best combination. So just stay grounded around the beginning of the week. On Saturday the 11th, Venus is meeting up with Pluto in Capricorn for the first of 3 conjunctions that is going to be forming over the next few months. So it's going to be meeting up on the 11th, then again on Christmas Day, and then again in March. So this alignment can kind of make us veer towards the obsessive or the compulsive when it comes to our relationships or our relationship with our body, or it can just kind of spark up your perfectionist tendencies. It can maybe lead to some fixation on certain things, but it can be really helpful for harnessing focus and getting some real creative work done. So around the 11th, be mindful of channeling this energy towards the good. So let's pull some cards for this week ahead. The Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. This week, we have an opportunity to really get started on some new things that maybe started rolling or rumbling below the surface over the last few weeks with eclipse season. We're ready to set intentions, we're ready to plant seeds, we're ready to make something real, we're ready to commit to some new ideas that have come through. And this is about our path, this is about our dreams, it's about our visions and who we are partnering with right now and what we are aligning ourselves with right now. There's a really strong energy of being intentional coming through here. Over this last few weeks, we might have just learned a lot about what is mobilizing, what actually propels us forward, and the difference between being propelled forward towards something because we truly want something and being like pushed away from something, and that being kind of what moves us forward. It's so much more productive to take inspired action and strive for the mission that we're on, strive for the goals that we're going for from a place of like self-love and curiosity and discovering and wanting, to share of ourselves and open our hearts and experience all that we want to experience rather than, fix ourselves, fix something. There's a real energy of wanting to create things, wanting to build things, and wanting to express ourselves. And it's really important this week that we stay in touch with that sense of I am growing and looking forward to the future from a place of self-love and a place of knowing that I don't need to fix anything about myself or I don't need to change myself, but I just need to become even more fully myself. And that's what's driving me forward. I want this because I actually want this, not because I'm trying to get away from something. We're marrying something some dream, some hope, some vision this week. And we can really kind of let the dust settle from eclipse season and see what is for us. What is for us? What we want to commit to now for the long term. It's like with the Page of Pentacles, a seed planted, an invitation comes that we are accepting and wanting to nurture the growth of, getting more serious. The Page of Pentacles asks us to think long term, sustainable, and one step at a time. And the Two of Cups, a new relationship coming in, a new marriage, a new union coming in. The Knight of Cups shows that we are on our mission. But this week, we're joining forces with something that's going to help us feel more stable and rooted and able to actually move forward, which kind of seems paradoxical, but it's not. It's like we're kind of finding a middle ground between being present and enjoying the process and also striving towards the next. It's all about what feels good this week. It's all about what feels good and what feels nourishing for us this week. The Seven of Wands. Yeah, striving, thriving while we're striving. That's what this week is all about. The Seven of Wands shows us being called to show up and showing up. We're not backing down. We are committed to our growth. We are doing what we need to do and maybe more, maybe Mars square Jupiter energy coming in here. We don't need to do the most. Just make sure you're taking action from a really intentional place. Every single action that we take this week has to feel good, because as in the beginning, so in the middle, so in the end. We have to enjoy the process. And maybe we're kind of learning what that looks like for us now this week. What does it look like for us to really be in the process? And remember that feeling good in the process is like what's actually going to help us truly move forward now. One more card. What did eclipse season reveal to you is just too much for you? It's just not sustainable. Maybe different ways of organizing yourself, different ways of planning your routines, planning your month ahead, planning in general are coming in here. Less is more kind of energy with the Page of Pentacles. Only who and what is totally aligned. Okay, well, Knight of Cups. Yeah, are you allowing enough space and time in your mind, in your day, in your routine? Or are you feeling like kind of bogged down by it? Are you feeling bogged down by muggle stuff right now? That's not gonna help us move forward right now. That's not helpful right now. The Knight of Cups is mobilized and propelled forward by inspiration and can make so many beautiful things happen and make such unique progress when they allow themselves to get distracted and when they allow themselves to listen to their heart and their gut and their body, and when they're taking enough time for self-care and play and fun, keeping it lighthearted this week. No pressure, putting no pressure on ourselves. And that might be challenging in the Seven of Wands energy, because it might feel like there's a lot of pressure on us right now, but we can alchemize this pressure. We can channel it in a unique way. We don't need to feel bogged down by it. We can use it to be creative and, integrate that into our path. And it doesn't need to stay any one type of way, or it doesn't need to be in any sort of like limited box or anything like that. But we can change and we can grow. And we are growing this week. Let's pull a Seasons of the Witch Oracle card. Grief. It is but a mere glimpse of nothingness, hidden away deep within the chambers of your morning, in the red clover's birthing lost delusion. Let's read the wisdom message for that. Grief is the uncomfortable dance between feeling everything and feeling nothing. It isn't exclusive to losing someone. Grief can manifest when you feel like a failure or when you have regret. It can appear when you feel overwhelmed or when you feel guilty. It can leave you feeling it all or feeling nothing, and then feeling both at the same time. Likewise, we can be so lost in our grief that we forget to live. We mourn for things that have long since slipped through our fingers. We find ourselves in a sort of limbo, half living, half dead. This is what can happen when you spend too much time searching for what is missing and what you've lost and forgetting to be grateful for what's left behind. Pulling grief means that you have a lack of satisfaction about where you are in life, what you have, or perhaps more appropriate, what you don't have. You're putting too much on your focus on what's missing, and you have cut off the rest of the world. There are still people and opportunities for you if you only lift your head and take a look around. Very 5 of Cups energy. Life still goes on when you've suffered a loss. Mourn for the things you've wanted and didn't get or had and lost, but be sure to keep going. The universe never takes something away without giving you something in its place. The universe never takes away something without giving you something in its place, right? I invite you to remember that this week, my loves. So many blessings to you.